6-liter build. We're going to do one of PRW Industries out of Paris, California. We're going to do one of their training upgrade kits. And we got to first get the old fulcrum out and the needle bearings out of this one. So what we're doing here is just using a regular 13/16 socket. And I don't know if you guys can see this, but there's a flat edge on these rocker arms here, just a rounded edge on one side. So taking the 13/16 and just sticking it over to the fulcrum on the flat side here, and then I'm using a 1/2 inch, it's a regular 1/2 inch socket. I'm using the closed end though, not the opened end. We want to use the closed end, and then all we're going to do is butt that closed end on the rounded side. So if you guys can see this, we're just gonna, that's all we're gonna do. And then the better way to do this, or the easier way to do this, because you can see the fulcrum actually come out a lot easier, is if the rocker arm is upside down. So we'll go ahead and do this right now. We'll get our stuff in here. And just kind of get it centered up as best you can. Put a little pressure on it, and that way you can center up everything. We're just using a regular ice, and you can get one of these things at Harbor Freight for pretty cheap. And then let's see if I can tilt this way so you guys can see it actually get pressed out. And let's see if we can come in here a little bit closer. All I'm going to do is just hold my hand here. The socket's going to shoot off, and this stuff's going to go falling, and I just don't want to make a mess. So anyways, since we're all set up, you get all set up here, and then we're just going to send it. And then that's it. That's all she wrote. Needle bearings that supposedly fail, you know, at higher RPM and giant cams and stuff like that. I'm not really running a giant cam in this motor. It's just a little itty bitty dude, but if he wants to change cams out, he can. Just to see the difference between the fulcrums on the stock Trunnion upgrade kit. It doesn't matter whose Trunnion upgrade kit is. I just decided to use this one because it was a little bit lighter on the budget. You can just clearly see the difference in fulcrum size here from stock to the aftermarket. This is a stock fulcrum, this is the aftermarket fulcrum. It's way beefier. So we're definitely going to be able to squeeze some RPM out of this and be able to handle that bigger camshaft for sure. Hey guys, so we're pressing in these bushings on the rocker arms for the PRW Trunnion upgrade kit. And on the instructions, I don't know if you guys can see this, but there's a part number on there. Part number, it needs to face towards the outside of the rocker arm, telling me. So all I'm doing, of course using the garage vise, just backing this off using some microfiber towel right here so it doesn't nick up the end of the bearing, or the bushing. And I'm just placing it on here and trying to line it up as best as I can. And then you just kind of get it in there, square everything up, we'll just send it. We'll wait until it bottoms out, hits bottom, and then we just back right off. You don't want to like crank on it too much because you don't want to crush this thing in and then cause binding issues. But that's done. I'll come back to you, show you the fulcrum, me pressing in the fulcrum. Hey guys, so getting ready to press these back in. I went through and pressed one side in on the bushings. We're getting ready to press in the fulcrum. So fulcrum And take your fulcrum right here. We get ourselves another bushing, another needle bearing. Should probably say needle bearing. And we're going to grab this guy. Just going to check everything, make sure everything's good, and then take a little bit of petroleum jelly and just get it inside this there. Kind of needle bearings themselves and inside, and you know, get a little bit of lubrication in there. And then we're going to go ahead and take our fulcrum. It really doesn't matter if it's this way or that way. You can turn it after you press it in. So I'm just going to drop this guy in here. Actually, what we can do too, a little extra lubrication, I've been doing this, is just take a little bit more petroleum jelly and stick it all over the fulcrum. I'm going to take this guy here, we're going to drop him in just like that, just so he's sitting there like that. And then we're going to find, because PRW wants us to have the stamped part number of this needle bearing, they want to face it towards the outside. See it right there? And then what we're going to do is just take the two parts, push them in like this for right now. That's all we're going to do. And then this is the hard part. It's easier to do this in press. Not everybody has a press, and sometimes you got to improvise and find out what's going to work best for you. So again, we have the garage vise. We're using a 13/16 washer. Impact socket, a 23 millimeter, just a regular short end socket. I found this washer. I think this is a 3/4 washer, and the hole's just big enough to where the fulcrum, where it sits, I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but it sits right over the needle bearing just like that. So this is kind of a juggling act. You're probably going to think this is ridiculous, but yeah, you know, sometimes it is what it is. You just got to make it happen. So we're going to take the impact socket, and I'm just going to pretty much try to crush everything together. Sandwich everything together kind of like that. And then we're going to stick this in the vise. Kind of get your vise set up, you know, beforehand, so it makes it a little bit easier and doesn't want to make you pull your hair out. And we'll get this set up here. So what you want to do is just make sure that you have everything as straight as you possibly can get. Take everything apart, readjust it, or try to readjust it so that that shaft in there spins freely and goes back and forth freely. So this is what we're going to do with this. And then we're ready to go. We're going to go ahead and send this one just enough to right where the washer touches the edge of the rocker on there. And then that's it. And shaft here. And that's what you want. Anyways, guys, like, subscribe, comment. We're actually not done with this, but last thing to do now is just our snap ring pliers. You can get set here. The easiest way I found with these sets of snap ring pliers is my thumb, just like that. And then we're going to just take the snap ring here and send it right over the fulcrum. Now, I mean, sometimes you get this first shot, sometimes you don't. Just take your time. There it is, snap ring in there. There we go, snap ring. we're all done. That's the finished product right there. And there you have it. And we'll keep moving on to the next one, and then we'll keep repeating the process 16 times. Hey, thank you everybody for stopping by the channel and checking out the 6-liter build and the Trunnion upgrade installation. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, we have some more content come to you in the future. Got the C10 behind me, we still got to finish up, and then this is going into 85 Cutlass. We've got a bunch of stuff we're going to do to that too. Fuel system, wiring, a little bit of tuning so that we can at least drive it down the road to get it over to the tuner. And then customer is wanting to go turbo in the future on this one, so we'll have a big old S475 hanging on this side and get you some content on that. This one's pretty much set up as far as we're ready to go turbo when he decides to pull the trigger on that, and that ought to be fun. Also, just want to give a shout out to Banning Chamber of Commerce for hosting the first street legal 8th mile drags over the weekend. In the future, D&E Performance is going to get involved with that. I'll reveal that in future episodes, and then I'll fill you guys in on what's going to happen. But thanks everybody for stopping by. Appreciate it. Don't forget to like and subscribe.